After sitting down the side of the house for a few months, with the exception of a few little things, overall the frame actually looks really good. I was worried about how bad things would rust, right? And other than like a little bit of rust coming through on a few things like the shackle bolts and the pinion and stuff like that, overall everything looks pretty good. Like, that's just surface rust, that'll wipe off. This we'll have to touch up, but for the most part the frame itself and all the suspension components and everything that we painted actually looks pretty good. It's held up pretty good, so it's kind of a nice sign. Now the engine's held up exceptionally well. Not that I am too particularly surprised. I put enough engine enamel on there that I don't even think you could get to the block on this thing. So anyway, there's that. And it's my hope that within the next week or so, this truck will be inside entirely anyway. Because I'd like to put the cab back on the frame within a week or so. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how well that works out. Okay, welcome back. So I intended to have video for you yesterday, but well, working nights, some days I like to sleep. So it's part of what makes us real here at the Real Guy Garage. So you'll notice I have a lot of plastic going on here. It's for a reason. So I've covered up the majority of everything on the south half of my garage. And there's a reason for that. Because what I have to do here is I talked to a couple people and showed them some pictures of the pitting and stuff that we have going on, like stuff like this and like that, right? And the consensus is, if I do not take and spot blast all this kind of stuff, right, and clean the pits out, it's going to come back to haunt us. So I have a spot blaster, and I picked up some silica, and of course we got a full face respirator, and we got all kinds of ventilation equipment, and we have everything we need to protect ourselves. And what we're gonna have to do is spot blast the places that have pitting so that the rust does not come back. So it's hard to tell because I got the cab facing backwards right now. But I have come in here and I have sanded all of the rockers. I've sanded all the door jamb on this side. I've sanded all the cowl, right? All the firewalls sanded. The only thing I haven't sanded is the top of the cowl here and the inside of the windshield frame, because I still have to take off what's left of this urethane, right? So I have to sand that still. And today's job, I'm gonna sand all of what's left of the pillar, and I'll finish sanding all inside this door jamb. And then I'll finish up what's left on the back of the cab, which is basically sanding in these panels and inside the channel for the window. And I'm going to come up here and I want to clean out inside this line so it's nice and clean and there's no crap in there. And then once we have that done, we can start setting up to sandblast, which is a big dirty job. Unfortunately, I didn't put a lot of this on video because, quite frankly, it is really boring to watch someone sand and sand and sand. But basically, I've just used 80 grit to clean off everything and rough it all up so the primer will actually stick to it and we have mechanical adhesion. Now, that being said, this coming week's video should be far more interesting because it should have some sandblasting, and it will also, hopefully, have put in the cabin primer. So hopefully you come back and you see that video. That video would be a lot more interesting than this video. For Unfortunately, like I said, this is the Real Guy Garage, and this is the reality of restoration. It's not always interesting, it's not always glamorous, and it's not always fun, but it is always rewarding. Anyway, hopefully we see you then, and thanks for watching.